As I clicked, ooh, I like him, it matched. So he had already liked my profile.
Yeah, you messed with me. She messed with. She wasn't scared. She wasn't scared. I give it that.
I know what I like and I know what I want.
Welcome to the Dark Times channel. And before I go ahead and get started, make sure you guys hit that like button for me. And if you're not new to the channel and you enjoy the content so far on this channel, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me as well. And so let's go ahead and get into it. This is a topic, or this is a video that I didn't plan on doing. I was actually working on a different project, but I had to go ahead and chime in on this one. And so as you all probably already know by now, recently, four-time gold medalist, Olympic champion Simone Biles and her husband Jonathan Owens of the Green Bay Packers sat down on a podcast to discuss not only their relationship, but where they're at currently in life. And of course, the question of how they first met came up and who pursued who.
They asking me, they like, here, can you take this picture? And I'm like,
So Jay, what you're doing right now is confirming that she is actually the best in the world at flipping the script.
she flipped.
She shot her shot.
She did though. Because if she wouldn't have messaged me, chances are, like, I probably wouldn't have. I probably would just, mine would have went somewhere else and wouldn't have thought to, but she messaged me, and I mean, like I said, the rest is history.
And so I would say after this interview came out, a lot of so-called black women online and Twitter went berserk. They had a lot to say.
He proceeded to talk about how it's not him who scored Simone, it's Simone who scored him. He's the prize. And then he talks down about her athleticism. Basically, it's acting like he had no idea who this.
And so a lot of the women online that are acting upset and acting like they're hurt, a lot of women that are acting like this and saying these things online are hurt because Simone Biles was right there and didn't have a problem with it. She didn't have an issue with what her husband said because she knew it to be true. And that's the real reason why a lot of these women online hurt, because they would never do what Simone Biles did for whatever reason, or at the very least, they would never admit to doing what Simone Biles did. Because this isn't the first time that they've talked about this in public. They've said the exact same thing before on live television.
Some say it takes time. How was it for you guys? How did you first meet? And were you one of those girls who just knew?
Yes, so it was like Instagram relationship and stuff like that, the DMs, whatever. He loves when I say that. I'm not saying it anymore because we're engaged, but
And so Simone was out there getting a hunt on, and for whatever reason, and I would say probably more so, it's because of the way that society has been engineered. That almost at every level, I don't care if it's high school, college, or professional level, women are attracted to men that play sports or are in the entertainment industry altogether. There's a heavy attraction. And as a guy, you can be one of the least attractive entertainers and still get some of the baddest women. That's just the way it's always been. But you never see the same thing in reverse. As I was watching this interview and I was thinking about this interview, I thought to myself, you would never see hundreds of men lined up after a gymnast performs to try to get an autograph, to try to get backstage, to try to get a picture, to try to get the number. But what you will see every night after an NBA game or after an NFL game, you'll see hundreds of girls in the lobby trying to get backstage, trying to get back to the locker room, trying to get wherever.
Before I get to a city, 3,000 to 5,000 women who are preparing themselves for Tank to come in town. The outfit has been purchased. The nails have been manicured and pedicured. That is what I walk into. A woman being the best she can be just because I'm in town. How do you not partake? I can pick, choose, and decide as I desire. Everybody else can deal with the rest.
I'm trying to hold back my clap.
So that lets you know right there who the prize is. And I know because of the times we live in and the environment we live in, that it sounds misogynistic to say something like that. We all grew up off Disney movies and Disney shows, and the man is supposed to pursue the princess. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes that dynamic does happen, and sometimes that dynamic does work. But when you're talking about athletes and entertainers that don't come a dime a dozen, and like I said earlier, for whatever reason, women are attracted to men with status, not necessarily money, but a man that has a name, a man that is recognizable. They want something that not every woman can get. You could be a pastor, you could be a football player, you can be a basketball player. It really doesn't matter. If you've got a name for yourself and people know who you are and a little money in your pockets, that goes a long way for a lot of women. And so a lot of women online are trying to act like they don't know what time it is. They're trying to act like they don't know that this man was the prize. And a lot of people are trying to use Simone Biles' fame to somehow compare the two. The two are not comparable. Like I said earlier, you would never see 100 men lined up out of a Simone Biles locker room or whatever gymnast locker room to try to get the digits. That would never happen. You don't see hundreds of men outside of WNBA games trying to get back to the locker room at these hotels, trying to get with these athletes. And so for the most part, if a man likes the way a woman looks or he has a certain type, let's say a Beyonce type, he doesn't have to try to get backstage to try to meet Beyonce at a concert. He can go to McDonald's and see a girl that's close enough and wife her up with no problem. And that's his prize. And I hate to sound like a red pillar. I hate to sound like I'm in a manosphere community because I'm not. But of course, there's always some logic and some truth in anything. And something else about this interview that rubbed me the wrong way. Nothing to do with Simone Biles or her husband. But it was the people that were interviewing him. Because this young man didn't bring up that he was the prize. It may be true, but he didn't bring it up. Ryan Clark brought it up and instigated this whole thing for clicks. He knew damn well what this was going to do to this couple.
But she messaged me, and I mean, like I said, the rest is history, man.
Honestly, in truth, Simone Biles is lucky.
For what?
Cause she took a chance. She lucky cause she wouldn't have all that. Jonathan said she wouldn't have all that.
They always say we matched
No,
first.
baby, we matched, but I was the first to message.
Yeah, you
was not
messaged me.
scared.
She messaged. She wasn't scared. She wasn't scared. I
See,
give her that.
I know what I like and I know what I want.
Y'all are young newlyweds.
Period.
Don't let people bring that shit in y'all house. Don't let this man.
And so if anything, like I said, I take issue with these OGs, or supposed to be OGs, instigating this whole thing like they did, knowing what it was going to do to this couple. But that's going to be a wrap on this particular video. Like I said, it wasn't going to be a long video. I'm going to get back to work on some of these other projects that I'm working on, and hopefully you guys can chime in on this one and let me know how y'all feel on this particular topic. And as usual, peace and chaos.